YouTuber Tati Westbrook is back, and despite saying that there is no drama or scandal involved in her decision, she has decided to shut down her beauty brand. However, it may have a lot more to do with the massive lawsuits that she has coming her way. Recently, many fans of Tati Westbrook were shocked to find a message that read, "Tati Beauty is now closed," upon looking at her website. It goes on to say, "Thank you for all of your support and the amazing memories." Tati made an official announcement though on her YouTube page that currently has 8.72 million subscribers. So far, the video titled "Why I'm Closing Tati Beauty" has garnered almost 180,000 views in just 6 hours. Initially, she rose to fame from making beauty tutorials and vlogs about her life. However, in recent years, the YouTube beauty community has not been so kind to her. In 2019, her name was plagued by drama, and in May of that year, she even posted a 43-minute video criticizing her former friend James Charles. She accused her mentee of inappropriate behavior and for betraying her by advertising a competitor to her vitamin brand. As a result, James lost a ton of subscribers and wouldn't gain some of them back until he posted a response video. The drama became so high profile that it was actually nicknamed Dramageddon 2.0. Around a year later, she was back at it again, and this time called out 2 more YouTube stars. A year removed from that first video, she attempted to accuse Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star of manipulating her into making that video calling out James Charles. Now she is back and swears the drama has nothing to do with her deciding to close down Tati Beauty. According to Westbrook, the pandemic and a lawsuit surrounding one of her other brands, the vitamin line Halo Beauty, have both played a massive role in her deciding to close down. The lawsuit I just mentioned was brought forth by Halo Beauty co-founder and former business partner Clark Swanson. Clark filed the lawsuit against Tati and her husband James in October of 2020, and because of it, Tati claimed that she had to sell her home and condo in LA to pay for the legal fees. She goes on to say, "COVID hit and that definitely slowed things down. It slowed the whole world down. And then of course you guys are aware of outside litigation that really impacted my life in full. So that kind of T-boned everything, and here we are." Adding, "Tati Beauty is closing its doors. We are no longer selling products online, and I say that with a heavy heart. I have loved creating this brand. I had huge goals, dreams, visions for the future." Tati explained in her video that launching a brand had always been a big goal for her because she loved the artistry of makeup. She said that she wished things were different but was grateful for the opportunity to launch what she did. In the last part of her announcement, she goes on to say, "There's just timing of the world, and sadly outside litigation had a huge impact. And that's just my life right now, and I'm hopeful for better days ahead." A lot of her fans are saddened by this news, but for the most part have been pretty encouraging of her future projects. One person said in response to the news, "Sorry for you and for the people you employed. Hope you will be able to reopen the company after all the legal stuff is done with." With another adding, "So sad to hear, but I'm glad you're in a good place and I'm excited to see what you do in the future." A big part of this, like I mentioned earlier, are the massive lawsuits that she's involved with. That lawsuit by her former business partner Clark Swanson is especially troubling. Apparently he sued Tati for having her own makeup brand because I guess that wasn't part of their deal. He then sued both Tati and her husband for breach of contract, gross negligence, and fraudulent inducement. However, in response to those allegations, Tati's lawyer called them meritless and absurd. He told E! News in a statement, "Swanson's claim is not only baseless, it is offensive and defies common sense." The Ace family's Austin McBroom has been exposed for cheating yet again. If you recall, Tana Mongeau called him out back in June, and now Instagram fitness model Noelle Leva is calling out both Austin and Jason Derulo for sliding into her DMs. Noelle has become popular on social media for her fitness motivational content, and while appearing on the podcast called Raw Talk hosted by Bradley Martin, Noelle revealed some pretty crazy information. Although once we found out who it was, I suppose it wasn't that crazy to believe. Both have a history of cheating. In the episode though, they're all talking about Noelle's dating life, and Bradley mentions that he has personally gone through all of her DMs and then went on to say, "I looked through all of her DMs. She has got DM'd by everyone you can think of, all blue checks. Then she is asked to expose some of the people that are sliding into her DMs, and as she tries to get them to change the subject, Brad blurts out Austin's name. Then Noelle reveals that another person was Jason Derulo. For starters though, Austin is currently married to former Victoria's Secret model Landon McBroom, and together they have 3 children. As for Jason Derulo, he's a father as well. He and his wife, actor Jenna Frooms, just had a baby boy. So there are big accusations coming from this podcast that impact actual families. However, if you followed any of the other scandals regarding the Ace family, then you'll know that this isn't Austin's first rodeo. Prior to this, he was accused by fellow YouTubers Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau of cheating on his wife. One afternoon, Tana posted a series of tweets and claimed that Austin had been cheating on Catherine repeatedly. In one tweet, she says, "One time Austin McBroom was cheating on Catherine with a random woman and she left a lipstick in his car. Then I was sitting with Jake in the car and he gets a FaceTime. It's from Austin crying and Catherine yelling, 'Is this Tana's lipstick?' Austin says it is. It wasn't." She then goes on to say, "But I lied for the sake of the children and said it was, shaking my head. Happy fight day, Team Bryce on God." Although it didn't stop there, she also went on to accuse him of hiring 4 of her friends to be nannies or masseuses around the house so that it was easier to cheat while Catherine was away. So far, Austin nor Jason have responded to those earlier accusations made by Noelle, but in that last case with Tana's accusation, she actually got a response from him. Austin claimed that the lipstick found in the car belonged to Erica Costell. He goes on to say in his response, "Capped the biggest clout chaser of them all, and it was actually Erica Costell's lipstick, dummy. I was taking Jake and her back to Jake's house. This lame-ass lie ain't gonna save the attention that your little boyfriend Bryce is about to get for his whooping." Many people on the internet were in shock though from those earlier claims and took their confusion and frustration to the comment sections. One user commented on Austin's Instagram and said, "And Catherine McBroom will still stand by her husband. At what point do you step away? Cheating accusations seems like he can be a real dick to her, put his family in debt, and lost their forever home. What will they have left to leave their kids but a bunch of judgments? I hope one day she wakes up." With others just commenting on Jason Derulo's page that his wife deserves better.
The Ace family portrays themselves as one big happy family, living a lavish life that everyone dreams of. But it seems this lavish lifestyle is all a big lie, because the family was just evicted from their new mega mansion and are scrambling to pay off their debts. The family purchased their $10 million mansion in 2019 and had been doing renovations for over a year before finally moving in. Originally, their mansion was 2 separate homes beside one another, and the family started major renovations to combine them into one massive home. The family documented the renovations and move-in on their channel, flaunting the mansion and their lavish items inside. But this is a stark contrast to the reality of the situation, and the property was later foreclosed on because the McBrooms were not able to pay their debts. The property was just returned to their lender after it failed to attract bidders at a foreclosure auction on October 19th. According to Zillow, the house is now 12,000 square feet and has 12 bedrooms and 13 bathrooms. The family is involved in 2 lawsuits related to the construction and renovation of the house. For one, the contractor is claiming that they have not received payment for their work. These lawsuits are in combination with many other lawsuits the couple is facing. Most notably is legal drama surrounding the YouTuber versus TikToker boxing event that took place earlier this year, put on by Austin McBroom's company. In the family's initial house reveal, they spared no expense to flaunt their money to their fans online. The video featured the home's 6-car garage. The cars inside were a Lamborghini, a Range Rover, Jeep Wrangler, Camaro, and Rolls Royce. The entry of the house showcased a baby grand piano that can actually play itself. In the video, the couple admitted they don't even know how to play the piano, but they hope their daughters will learn. Their furniture is also over the top. They had 2 butterfly armchairs worth $2,500 each and 2 large couches. We don't know the cost, but Austin claimed they were almost too expensive for them to buy, so clearly a lot. The family also hired a live-in private chef to cook all their meals, as well as other live-in staff members to care for the home. It's been reported that members of their family also live with the couple. But that's not all. The outside of the home is just as luxurious. The newly conjoined backyard has 3 separate athletic areas. There's a basketball court, a golf putt with a turf, and a swimming pool. So clearly the family put an insane amount of money into this house, I'm sure in part so they could flaunt it on their YouTube channel. But now it's exposed that their fortune is all smoke and mirrors, and I wouldn't be surprised if all these lawsuits the couple is facing completely bankrupts them.
The Ace family have been drowning in lawsuits as of late, and now not only will they be facing eviction from their $10 million home, but it seems as though declaring bankruptcy may also be in the cards. With 19 million subscribers on their family channel, the Ace family are masters of clickbait and getting mass attention. With titles like "Dropping L Off at School in a Lamborghini" and "The Ace Family Break Up," they know exactly what to do in order to get their views into the millions. However, as many of you know already, the life we portray online is rarely the life that we live. The mansion that they have been living in usually acts as their fairy tale background, and the reason for this is because the likelihood of them keeping this home is just that, a fairy tale. The process of building the home was not easy either. Construction started back in 2018, but they were not able to move in until summer of 2019. Originally, the property had 2 separate homes, but they had them merged into one giant mansion. According to the listing, it's 20,000 square feet, sits on 1.2 acres of land, and has an impressive 12 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, a pool, and a game room, and a home theater. Why would anyone need 12 bedrooms though is beyond me. Also, who wants to clean 13 bathrooms? I have one and I groan every time I have to clean it. They said that the reason for their move to this new mega mansion had a lot to do with getting away from all the crazy fan invasions that they had at their last place. From what I can tell, the construction and purchase of the house totaled $10.1 million. Now let's break down how they ended up in this position of facing bankruptcy. The McBroom family are the CEO of a company called Ace Hat Collection. This sort of acts as their umbrella company for all things Ace family. According to public property records, this company had signed a deed of trust for the LA property in July of 2019. However, by May of 2021, the property was at risk of foreclosure and in a legal stage known as pre-foreclosure. What happened was then the property was up for auction, but after receiving no bids, it was then returned to a financial lender called 5 Arc Funding Corporation. So legally, the McBrooms don't even own this home, but if the lending company wants them out, they need to file and win an eviction lawsuit to force them off the property. Several people, including a lawyer for the Ace Hat Collection Company, were contacted for comment, but all of them did not respond to media requests. A document first suggesting that the Ace family was in financial trouble leaked back in July of 2021. A blog had posted about the notice of default issued by a debt collection company and served to the Ace family home on May 21st, saying that they had 90 days to pay back their $8.7 million to their home lender. Then when August 30th rolled around, a notice of sale was sent to them saying that it was going to be up for a sale at a public auction for an estimated $9.3 million. Not only was this notice leaked, but it was also made public that Austin's company had been approved for a federal loan of just over $100,000 as part of the Paycheck Protection Program. What they did though was use $20,000 of that loan to pay off their mortgage interest as they tried to shut down rumors about being evicted. The home foreclosure is just a small piece regarding the reason for the Ace family needing to declare bankruptcy. On top of all of this, they were also being sued by the media company Live by Live. A lawyer for them told the press that Austin's boxing event was built on a stack of lies, and as a result they were seeking $100 million in their lawsuit for failure to fulfill contracts. Then Catherine was also being sued by TBL Cosmetics, which is a manufacturing company that helped her launch 1212 Gateway. This one is a civil complaint, but the suit alleged that she actually tried to stage a coup of the skincare brand to stop TBL from profiting off 1212 Gateway, which doesn't really make any sense, but that's what the report said. And if all of that wasn't bad enough, we come back full circle to the construction of the home that they can't afford anymore. Austin's company has also had to petition against 2 separate claims from construction companies about them not receiving payment for a completed project. One petition was denied by a judge and the other is apparently awaiting judgment. They are going to have to pull a miracle out of somewhere to pay back everyone they owe, and flaunting a life of luxury is hardly going to fix this. My guess was that Austin was hoping this boxing event would give him enough profit to clear his name, but it ended up causing more problems.
I'm sure you guys know of Austin McBroom of the Ace family by now because he is constantly getting into scandals, but you might not have heard of Landon McBroom, his older brother, that has become a social media influencer in his own right because of his familial connection. While Landon is getting exposed for faking tons of posts on his Instagram, Landon is 24 years old and currently has 1 million Instagram followers. He first gained notoriety for a joint channel he created with his now ex-girlfriend named Shyla that they launched in 2017. He and Shyla share a child together and they made family type vlogs on their channel similar to the Ace family's vlogs. However, this couple recently split because Shyla accused Landon of being violent with her. Their joint channel had over 3 million subscribers at the time they split. Now Landon has his own vlogging channel with over 160,000 followers. Now on to the scandal. I'm not sure how this was even discovered, but some eagle-eyed sleuths look further into the things that Landon was posting to his Instagram and exposed that many of them were things that were reposted off of Pinterest, not pictures of Landon's actual life. Def Noodles made a great Instagram gallery comparing the original photos to what Landon posted online, and it was shocking. One photo shows him pretending to be on a private jet with sushi, saying he is heading to Vegas for the weekend. Another is a photo of a green Birkin, which is one of the most expensive handbags in the world. Landon tried to play it off like it was a gift for a woman. He then stole a photo from Twitter of a man and a woman's legs, saying that he had a new relationship that he was going to be announcing soon. And lastly, there's a photo of a Louis Vuitton bag, again making it look like it belongs to him or his girlfriend. And of course, after this was exposed, the whole internet went crazy mocking how funny this all is. I mean, we know that influencers flex online trying to make their lives look more interesting, but I think this is the first time an influencer has been caught for blatantly stealing photos and trying to make it seem like that's their life. Some comments about the situation read, quote, "That's so embarrassing. If that happened to me, I would stay in my house and not leave. Another red quote, I would delete my whole account after that. And lastly, quote, what must people in his real life think when they see this, or are they just as sad as him? Drama Alert host Keemstar just announced he will be retiring from YouTube. However, Keem has announced his retirement many times in the past and never actually followed through, so many think this could be all a ploy for attention. So yesterday on October 25th, Keemstar tweeted that he is planning to retire. The statement read, quote, I am retiring, full statement later today. This announcement came as a shock to fans because Keem hasn't been involved in any big drama lately, and he constantly says that he will never leave the internet, even though his critics obviously want him to. After this tweet was posted, many of the replies claimed that it's all fake and Keem was just announcing this for attention. One tweet even showed a screenshot of an old tweet of Keem's from 2019 where he said he would be retiring. And obviously at the time that did not happen, so this person claimed that Keem is just a liar. Keemstar actually addressed these concerns in a short Twitter video he made following the tweet. In this video he says this is not a troll and he is really retiring, claiming that he will be explaining himself more in a video that he would be uploading to Drama Alert later that day. But then hours later he tweeted that this explanation video was going to be delayed because, quote, making this video is way harder than I thought it would be. Adding this explanation video would be posted the following day, we assume that's October 26th. After fans started asking Keem questions about the future of his internet career and Drama Alert in general, he said that he will still be posting on his Twitter account post-retirement, but he won't be host of Drama Alert anymore. And this is something that Keem has actually talked about in the past, and he's tried to hire other hosts before, but the fans never liked them as much as they liked Keemstar. Currently, Drama Alert has over 5.5 million subscribers and is the largest drama channel on YouTube, so it makes sense that he would try to hand the channel off rather than just stop posting altogether. But even with all this clarification that he is not trolling and he's being serious, it seems that fans will not buy it until he is actually no longer hosting. One tweet about the situation read, quote, I don't care what Keem says, he will never retire. Every couple years he says he's going to leave the internet and he never does. He took a break last month, but he didn't actually take a break. This is Keemstar, he's addicted to the internet just like everyone else. But of course, people who are not fans of Keem's are very happy over this decision, and another tweet read, quote, I'm an atheist, but seeing Keemstar retire from the internet is proof that God answers prayers. So that's really all we know as of now. At the time of posting this video, Keem has not posted his official retirement announcement on Drama Alert, so time will tell if he actually goes through with it or not. Dirty Dom has just returned to YouTube after a 6-month hiatus following allegations that he took advantage of a woman in a David Dobrik video, and he is now speaking out against David and his assistant Natalie. Texts were even exposed showing a completely different side of Natalie that the internet is outraged about. In a video uploaded on September 24th called Exposing the Truth, Dom discusses the allegations that were made about him in the Insider article that accused him of forcing himself on a woman, along with alleging that David knew this happened and covered it up. Outrage was even worse over the situation because David put some of this encounter in a vlog, making things worse for the victim and proving he supports frat boy-esque behavior to make content for his videos. In the recent video, Dom gives more details from what took place that night, even showing text messages between him and the girl in question, as well as being very apologetic about what took place. For an extra twist, Dom actually invited David Dobrik's former public relations person, Cassandra Ramos, to speak in the video. Months after the video went live, the woman asked Dom to take down the video because she didn't consent to the video anymore, and Cassandra exposed that David did not want to take the video down when Dom asked him to, and they even contacted a lawyer to see what they could legally do to avoid taking it down. After she decided she wanted to speak out against the group, Cassandra answered some more questions about the Vlog Squad on her Instagram, where she exposed old text messages with Natalie. When someone on her Instagram asked Cassandra if Natalie is fake, quote, in real life like on camera, Cassandra posted a screenshot of conversation between her and Natalie. In the shocking conversation, we see Natalie shaming the victim for speaking out. One text reads, quote, okay, don't be a snob, they're admittedly whores, but that's the point. No good girl agrees to hook up with Dom. How else would he get that shit? In another text, Natalie says, quote, but he needs the dirty girls because they party and do the ratchet shit he needs for the videos. Good girls are boring. He can't film you and I, we aren't content. These messages are in stark contrast to what Natalie said following all the drama that took place in 2020 with David, where she claimed she supported and was standing with the victims. But from these text messages, it was clearly all an act, and when she found out that Dom was accused of forcing himself on someone, she trashed the girl instead of taking the video down like she wanted. But it's clear that the whole time this scandal was happening, David and Natalie were doing everything possible to distance themselves from Dom and the incident that took place in the vlog. While Natalie was on the BFFs podcast after that incident, she said about the allegations, quote, even the shit which went down, it was really about another dude. Another guy did something. David just happened to be there. And of course Dom needed to be held accountable for his actions, but David was not totally innocent either.
But this is where I made a mistake. I forgot that the biggest f***ing idiot I know was driving it.
Vlog Squad member Jeff Wittek has finally exposed David Dobrik in his newest video as he explains what happened to his eye. The new video features older footage from when they performed a dangerous stunt that was meant for David Dobrik's vlog. However, everything went horribly wrong, and looking back, David has a lot more to apologize for. For a very long time, the Vlog Squad was one of the most popular creator groups on YouTube. Their team was what many aspired to form. They all seemed just like good friends, they had fun together all the time, and by filming what they did, it was like they were letting us into their little world without needing to directly involve ourselves in their sometimes wild stunts. It was entertaining, but unfortunately what people didn't take into consideration was what happened behind the scenes. At face value, sure, they all look like good friends. However, pull that curtain aside and you'll see David Dobrik, a madman with a plan and so many subscribers that anyone around him was willing to do whatever to be in a vlog video. With great power comes great responsibility, and with great responsibility comes great power. Had David Dobrik just done the proper steps to ensure the safety of those around him, this probably would never have happened. You know, just like hire maybe somebody that knows how to work an excavator. To explain where the conversation about Jeff's eye started though, we have to go back to the recent essay controversy involving Dirty Dom. This led to David Dobrik apologizing, getting demonetized by YouTube, and dropped by many of his big sponsors. Because Jeff Wittek was part of the Vlog Squad, he too made videos commenting on the situation and would even later appear on the Frenemies podcast with Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas. It was there that he first shared his side of the story and briefly mentioned that something had happened to his eye. Although he didn't dive into too many of the details, this left fans curious as to what happened. Then later he appeared on Impulsive and showed an exclusive clip from his documentary where he fully revealed his injured eye. Now in his new documentary series, Jeff has fully explained that he nearly lost his eye and his life at the hands of David Dobrik. In the video, he spoke about how the group had been doing a lot of stunt videos, and their newest idea was to put an excavator vehicle in a lake. Once there, they would simply create their own tree swing and use the excavator to hurl their friends around. The YouTuber even leads into the clip by saying how he had downplayed the danger of the stunt at first. Jeff says, "I just jumped out of a plane 20 times. What's the worst that could happen if I swing from a rope over a 1-foot deep lake?" Although that soon turned into him saying, "I didn't know I was gonna go that fast, so I grabbed the rope and I tried to make a goddamn funny video for people, but this is where I made a mistake. I forgot that the biggest effing idiot I know was driving it." Even right before Jeff went on, I believe Corinna Kopp was taking a turn and it did not look safe at all. You can even see her panic when the rope suddenly drops. This is a moment of genuine fear, and she calls David out for always taking things too far, which sadly a warning that went missed as Jeff would grab onto the rope next. In the video, David can be seen spinning the vehicle around as Jeff hung from the rope. However, suddenly he begins to fly towards the camera and crash into the excavator itself. At that moment, you can hear David in the background yelling, "Oh shit," and then the rest of the team can be seen rushing into the water to see if Jeff was okay. Doctors even told Jeff that if the impact had been 3 millimeters higher and on the same angle, he would have actually split his eye in half. The difference of a few inches is the only reason he's alive today. Many viewers of Jeff's new documentary series were furious with David Dobrik and took to Twitter to express how irresponsible this truly was. One viewer said, "Jeff Wittek almost died filming one of David Dobrik's vlogs. He has lifelong injuries physically and mentally. I can't believe how irresponsible you can be when you're willing to risk your friend's life for content. There's a serious lack of empathy and common sense." And apparently there will even be more information regarding this eye injury in the next episode of his documentary that will include clips of David himself speaking on the incident.
Jojo Siwa is the biggest child turned teen star right now, getting her start on Dance Moms, then moving to Nickelodeon, where she became a household name. But it seems her relationship with Nickelodeon is starting to sour because she just exposed the company ahead of her upcoming tour, claiming Nickelodeon doesn't treat her like a human being. Jojo took to Twitter last night to expose the company for not letting her perform certain songs during her upcoming 37-city Dream Tour that begins in January. She specifically wants to perform songs from her newest movie called The J-Team, which premiered exclusively on Paramount Plus in July and was made in partnership with Nickelodeon. On September 14th, Jojo tweeted, quote, "I go out on tour in January. My movie musical was just released with 6 new original songs. Nickelodeon told me today that I'm not allowed to perform/add any of the songs from the film into my show. These are my songs, my voice, my writing. Does this seem fair?" Following it up with another tweet that read, quote, "There is no reason that this music should not be included. Working for a company as a real human being, treated as only a brand is fun until it's not." She followed this up with another tweet saying that she wants her show to be the best it can possibly be, and having music from her new project is important to her, stating again that she is a human and not just a brand. TMZ also spoke to her, and she told them that she is mostly angry that people who have worked with Nickelodeon for less time than her are calling the shots of what she can and can't perform. However, she did make a point to say the relationship is not beyond repair, and she hopes they can reach a compromise. In a recent interview with Jimmy Fallon, Jojo explained that she originally wrote 27 songs for the J Team, but narrowed it down to 6. The tracklist includes 6 new songs, 2 old songs, along with the one that was remixed for the movie. Although Jojo has branched out from her child stardom and is now participating in shows like Dancing with the Stars and The Masked Singer, she's still tied to Nickelodeon and they have a lot of control over her, as well as being linked to her brand. Jojo has starred in multiple TV shows on Nickelodeon, as well as touring with the company in 2019. She's also released 3 EPs through Viacom, which is Nickelodeon's parent company. Jake Paul seems to be always causing trouble, so it's no surprise that he was recently charged criminally for some illegal conduct. So if you remember, Jake Paul was arrested and charged in Scottsdale, Arizona during the George Floyd protests because he was at a mall and allegedly looted from it along with a huge crowd that passed through. This went down in May of 2020, and at that time the charges against him were dropped, although he was subjected to an FBI raid of his Calabasas mansion shortly after, but no charges were filed then either. But even though Jake has been in the clear for over a year now, and the feds decided they won't be pressing charges against him, the city of Arizona is now refiling their charges. Reps for the city of Scottsdale confirmed this to TMZ. In 2020, Jake was charged with 2 criminal misdemeanors, criminal trespass, and unlawful assembly, but the city attorney dropped the case when the feds launched its own investigation, and after learning Jake was not going to be charged on a federal level, the city decided to refile misdemeanor charges against him. If you're wondering why the federal government did not end up charging Jake, apparently they didn't have enough evidence against him, but I'm assuming what they have is enough for the city to successfully go after him. Because to refresh your memory on the evidence that they have, the city has video proof showing Jake and his crew inside the mall as it was being looted, and even though it's unclear if Jake takes anything, he witnessed multiple thefts and even filmed it. I'm assuming he was thinking of making some sort of vlog about the looting, but obviously didn't upload it after he was busted by the cops. So even though these charges are a lot lighter than whatever the federal charges would be, he still faces a maximum of 1 year in jail if he is convicted. Although I would assume that Jake is going to cooperate enough to take jail time off the table. And to remind you about this crazy raid that took place at Jake's Calabasas home and his friend and collaborator Armani Adazi's Las Vegas home, the FBI did confirm after that the raid was a result of his Arizona arrest. However, the government might have just been taking the opportunity to search Jake's house because a small militia showed up to the house with armored trucks. Even crazier footage was captured showing the cops bringing out multiple huge guns from Jake's home. Some other footage even showed Jake and some of his team being arrested. However, nothing came of this raid.
Drake Bell pleads guilty, PewDiePie roasts David Dobrik, and Logan Paul breaks the law for a KSI collab. That's right folks, we've got ourselves a triple header news story for you all today. So first things first, let's talk about the fact that Logan Paul may have broken some travel laws so that he can meet up with KSI for a collab. According to reports online, he's being accused of breaking England's travel laws after ignoring the mandatory 10-day quarantine rules. Now this collab may confuse a lot of people, especially considering the fact that after Logan and KSI's boxing match ended in a split decision, it seemed like they would be rivals forever. However, now the pair are seemingly squashing whatever beef they once had. Because of COVID though, people traveling from the US to England were told that they needed to quarantine still for 10 days upon arrival. Although many social media users were quick to point out that Logan was spotted hanging out with his friends in public despite landing just 4 days prior. That being said, it is possible that Logan and his friends paid for some additional COVID testing under their test to release scheme that would allow them to end their quarantine early. Regardless, it still upset a lot of people, but I don't know about you, I'm just excited to see what these two have in store for a collaboration. Now in other news, let's talk about PewDiePie calling out David Dobrik. More specifically, why he called him a sociopath. After making a return to his regular vlogs following months of silence and multiple controversies, PewDiePie made it very clear that he was not excited about the return. PewDiePie at the time was rating different influencer homes, but when he came across David's house tour video, he immediately admitted that he wasn't a huge fan of the problematic vlogger. As he is reviewing the house, Felix says, "I think overall David being a sociopath and lacking any actual personality, I think that shows in this house. Where is he in this? It looks good, don't get me wrong, but this is his house and there's no way to know that. He did switch up his stance on David's house a little bit once he saw alcohol everywhere, but that didn't necessarily change his mind about who David is. He ended up giving him a C tier list rating and then claimed that he just didn't like him. Now in our last bit of news though, we need to talk about Drake Bell pleading guilty. If you remember, Drake Bell became popular for his character on the Nickelodeon show called Drake and Josh. Well, now he has pleaded guilty to charges relating to a girl who he met online and attended one of his concerts in Cleveland in 2017 when she was only 15 years old. Jared Drake Bell, who is 34 years old, pleaded guilty via Zoom to felony attempted child endangerment and a misdemeanor charge of disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. Earlier this month, when these charges came up, Bell had originally pleaded not guilty. Tyler Sinclair, who is a spokesperson for the prosecutor's office, said at the time that this victim had contacted the Toronto police in October of 2018 to file a report about what had taken place between her and Bell the previous year at a Cleveland nightclub. Toronto authorities then contacted the Cleveland police, which then opened up the investigation into what Drake Bell did. Sinclair also detailed that Bell had created a risk of harm to the victim by violating his duty of care. Apparently, Bell and the girl had developed a relationship online several years prior to the concert, which means she was even younger at that time, because if you recall, I said she was only 15 when she attended that first concert of his. In regards to the disseminating harmful material charge, this is for the inappropriate social media messages that he had sent in their communications with the underage girl. Defense attorney Ian Friedman said Wednesday that he could not comment on the case, but said that it will be revealed at sentencing why Mr. Bell chose to enter a guilty plea. According to prosecutors, Bell's sentencing has now been set for July 12th. As many of you heard in our last update about the James Charles lawsuit, he recently broke his social media silence to call out his ex-employee for blackmailing him. Well, it seems as though things have only escalated further, with his former creative director choosing to just expose him further. Beauty influencer James Charles had built himself quite the lucrative career over the years, but as the days go by, new accusations are slowly chipping away. As of late, the 21-year-old multi-millionaire has been at the center of a controversy regarding him texting people that were underage. The online backlash led to him losing monetization on his YouTube channel and cutting ties with Morph Cosmetics. Now his former producer and creative director Kelly Rockline is speaking out yet again regarding her lawsuit against him. Kelly is alleging wrongful termination, disability discrimination, failure to provide reasonable accommodation, and failure to pay minimum wage for overtime hours worked. During an interview with Insider, Kelly and another anonymous source also alleged that James had used the N-word in front of them. Initially, Rockline said that she wanted to settle with James privately, but apparently his legal representation declined to settle during their early conversations back in 2019, saying that they would rather litigate the dispute in private arbitration. Then in March of 2020, Kelly decided to file her complaint with the Los Angeles County Superior Court. Now, of course, James has declined to comment on Kelly's recent claim that he used a racial slur in front of her, and through his attorney, he has essentially denied all of the claims that she has made against him. On the flip side of things, James Charles posted a video to his Twitter further explaining the lawsuit in question. James took that time to also accuse Kelly of taking her story to the media to publicly pressure him into offering a higher settlement offer. He then went on to question why she has chosen now to discuss their legal dispute that has been going on for 2 years. In response to this recent video, Kelly's attorney told media outlets that the reason for her waiting so long to speak about this is because of the legal team for James Charles. According to Kelly's attorney, James's legal team have been attempting to compel arbitration, which is a private process where disputing parties agree that one or several individuals can make a decision about the dispute after receiving evidence and hearing arguments. Basically, it's a process where both sides kind of come together and agree to follow and respect the decision of a neutral mediator. This is one route that you can try instead of filing a lawsuit and going to court to resolve the dispute. Kelly, on the other hand, wanted to set a precedent for how influencers treat their employees. By going through the process of litigation to be compensated, she will then set a template for future cases or disputes of this nature. Rockline told Insider that she is hoping to be compensated for unpaid wages that she says were withheld from her, along with damages, penalties, attorney fees, and interest from the 3 years since she was fired. Despite working 80 hours a week or more, Kelly says that she was not paid any overtime at minimum wage even. However, it is also worth noting that she did say in a perfect world that she would still work for James Charles, whatever that means. That being said, she also exposed him for using the N-word in front of her on numerous occasions, claiming that he would use it casually while filming, and that he would also refer to his friends using the slur as well. Backing this claim up is another source who claims to have had a personal relationship with James prior to 2016. They too said that Charles would casually use the slur in front of them in high school. Kelly's attorney has also responded to the claims made by James that she is blackmailing him. In response to that, he said that James Charles' legal team attempted to stop the story from Insider.com by offering a settlement in response to Rockline's claims to buy her silence. James Charles' manager responded to that and told Insider, James made a reasonable settlement offer for an employment lawsuit. She countered with an outrageous amount of money to settle and to retract her public statements. James wasn't willing to pay her off. As for James, well, he is still defending the fact that he has never paid anyone off, nor will he ever. During his recent video, he confirms this as much, saying, contrary to popular belief, I have never paid anybody to speak or not speak about me, and this will not be be the first time that I do it. Adding, my only option is to pursue this to the fullest extent of the law and hope that when it gets to a courtroom, justice will be served. I wonder if bringing this to a courtroom though is just going to open up a can of worms that James Charles doesn't want exposed.